Yeah, yeah. Well, sometimes I say the same thing, and but I rent this place, and I've been here 5 years now. I don't know how much longer I'm going to stay. Me and the landlords are already having some issues over a ceiling leak I had that developed from the third floor. So I don't know how much longer. I don't know if you can picture these places, Conrad, but you know those old homes that were built in like the late 1890s, maybe the early 1900s. Well, this is on Cherokee Road in Louisville, if you've ever been in this area. And this is supposed to be one of the most prestigious addresses in Louisville to live at. And sometimes our landlord treats this place like a slum, but I live here for a fraction of what everybody else pays.
Well, good for you.
Yeah, the landlord was a big wrestling fan. He got Chris in here first, and he says, "Can you get your dad over here?" And I'll give him the same deal that I gave you. And well, I was not living in the best of places and not in the best part of town. So yeah, to get on Cherokee Road, hell yeah, I'll go for that. I pay less here than I paid over there. And we've been here about 5 years, but they're going to have to up the keep of this property for us to be here a whole hell of a lot longer.
That's cool.
Yeah. Well, and my son had a great idea. He wanted me and you, being as we both have a mortgage history. I don't know if you know this. I was in the mortgage business about 5 or 6 years myself. And he wanted me and you to come on here and talk about nothing but the mortgage business and not even talk about wrestling whatsoever. I said, that would have pissed some people off.
I can't believe the guy who used to hustle meat also hustled mortgages. I don't know why I didn't guess that.
Yeah, okay, so he's aware of the meat situation.
Oh, yeah. Can't tell you anything.
As a matter of fact, Mark Cuban said that the meat story was the greatest thing he had ever. That came out of Mark Cuban's mouth. We have it recorded. We put it on a loop. He says the meat story is the greatest thing I've ever heard in my life. I said, "What if I told you it wasn't true?" He said, "Please God, don't tell me it's not true. That story's got to be true." And Chris said, "It's true." It's true.
Tremendous.
So Chris won't even let me deny it. But no, it's oh boy, it got me through some tough times in Nashville, Tennessee, is all I can tell you. And for the record, no Krogers in Alabama were ever affected by the meat scam. I'll let you know that right now.
You didn't make it that far south. So.
I didn't get. No, that was a little. No. I did. Atlanta was a territory. That was part of the territory.
There you go.
I had territory set up, Conrad. I had places. People wanted me to teach them how to do this, and I could only set them up in areas that I knew I wasn't going to. So my territory was Cincinnati, Louisville, Knoxville, Nashville, Atlanta, Chattanooga, and that was about it. So that was my almost like the Gulas territory back in the days. Only he didn't go to Cincinnati.
Help me understand here, Kenny. You're saying you had meat hustle territories?
I had a meat hustle territory. I had relatives wanting me to teach them. Have you heard how the meat hustle died? Have you heard how it went away?
No.
Okay. My mother, her banner hangs on my wall over here. She's not on camera tonight, so we could get the fish tank in. I call that my 75-gallon fish tank. I give a gallon for every inch of the television.
There you go.
So that's my 75-gallon fish tank. I'm looking at you on my 70-gallon fish tank because during the day, if I'm not doing anything, this is a fish tank as well. Because Rico inspired me with the fish tanks in the background when he does the podcast with us. My mother wanted me to pay. This was in 1988, I think. Christopher was a baby, and she wanted me to pay for her to go to Florida. I said, "Well, Mom, there's no need for me to pay for you to go to Florida to visit your mother. I'll show you how to make the money." I said, "I can show you how to make $500 today." Well, I think Conrad will attest that $500 in a day in 1988 ain't bad money, right?
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, not bad money. So I show Mom the meat opportunity, as Jimmy Cornette named it. Not a meat scam, not meat deception, the meat opportunity.
You got to make it sound legit.
Because in my eyes, I was only taking advantage of their warranty. The warranty stated that if you buy this meat and you don't like it, you get double your money back plus Tennessee state sales tax, which was 8.75% back then. So if you bought, say, $120 slab of pork loins, they come in a big long roll. And they were about $120. And so if you take half of it back to the store you bought it from with the label on it, you got back $250, $260 there by the time they factored in the tax. You could cut from the middle of it and have dinner and maybe even feed the neighbors, and then take the other half back with the receipt to any Kroger you wanted that was in the state you bought it from. And they also would give you double your money back plus Tennessee tax. So you could buy that slab of meat for about $120. And by the end of the day, you'd get back about $5 to $5.20, give or take, on the tax. So it was any day you wanted $500, there was a way to get it, just depending how far you were willing to drive, and you had to make sure not to go to the same Kroger and make sure that you ended up at that other Kroger like 3 months later. You can only do this once every 3 months. So allegedly, if one were to do this or had done it, allegedly this is what you would have done. So there were times if you really were motivated, you could make $2,000 in a day or two. I mean, you had to buy it one day, return it the next. Conrad shaking his head like this is terrible.